Northeast America in the fall. 3 days, 2 women, 1 dream road trip. So what camera to take?
Now what's that I hear you say? I'm a complete idiot? Yes, understandable and completely valid, but not because I bought this camera along. Let me tell you why. First off, this might not be a tiny pocketable Ricoh GR3 or something like that, but it does weigh under 900 grams. It's weather sealed and it's got this lovely rubbery coating to it and a good grip that makes it feel super secure in your hands. Secondly, we have a beautiful 102 megapixel medium format sensor, which produces incredible quality images. It's about 70% bigger than a full frame sensor, and I am so excited to use it to try out some of these fantastic colors we're getting, the dynamic range, and the beautiful lights we're going to see on this trip. Now this version 2 does have a newer upgraded AF system in comparison to the original GFX100S. It is the same AF system that we see in the GFX100 version 2, and it's been working great. I've been testing it in the city, it has been fantastic, but it is nice to get out of there and maybe visit somewhere a bit more sleepy. The colours are so nice here.
With Sleepy Hollow behind us, we headed on to somewhere even spookier.
We didn't forget a cable. Didn't even forget a cable, don't worry about it. Kirsty, I got the cable.
Not Best Buy, Salem.
.15th of a second, still sharp. We do see an upgrade to the image stabilization within this camera, the IBIS. We now have 8 stops of IBIS, and I'm really having to use that tonight because not only does a 100 megapixel medium format sensor really show any micro jitters just in general shooting, we've now got super low light to contend with, and I'm having to use quite low shutter speed so I don't have to push the ISO up too high. So we'll see how it gets on, but from what I've seen so far, I've been really happy with the IBIS on this, and I'm a massive fan of IBIS. This looks super creepy down here. It's time to do my favorite non-official IBIS test, which is just see how long I can handhold it for. So I'm going to set this lens at 50mm, which is about 40mm, and just take a picture here on the slowest shutter I can. Now, I normally get about 6 to 8 seconds on these. I'm pretty good at them on like a full frame camera with IBIS, but this, although it has 8 stops, this is, you know, 100 megapixel medium format. So we'll see how much jitter we get. We'll see if we can get a truly sharp image. I'm going to start at 1 second, which I still think is a hard job.
Gather round, folks, right over here, right over here.
Okay, I'm going to do the IBIS test over here because we're hearing very scary Salem stories over there. Right, I'm going to start off with 1 second, which I think is not doable. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it, but we'll give it a try. Oh, it is not bad. There is a slight bit of movement in that, but it is not bad whatsoever. Are you enjoying my deep breathing? I would say it's like usable. If you needed to get a picture, and I am so happy with that. I am happy with a second on 100 megapixels of 50mm on a medium format. I'm very, very happy with that. That's fine. And that means I can definitely use things like a 1/10 of a second walking around here, getting like the storefronts, some of the like cool things they've got hanging off the shops. Even if you want to get a bit of movement as well, you know, sometimes we've got flags moving and we want most of it sharp, but we want that movement at the edge of the flag and like a gentle breeze. 1/10 of a second, 15th of a second, perfect. I can boost the ISO a little bit. I'm being a bit prissy with it. Ooh, spooky. Just found this really nice little cornfield, and I want to get a little bit of depth here because there's quite a lot of space and there's some nice like red foliage behind. So I'm just going to swap over to the 110, which I am super excited about. This 110 is an f2, and I can't I can't do the math, but it's about 87 mil. Please put the real amount up on screen, that it's equivalent to in 35 mil. So give us some really nice depth here, which I'm really excited about. This is such a perfect little location with like loads of little bits. I can't wait to shoot here. Don't know which ones to get. I'm so excited about shooting with this 110mm. Like, it's a big lens, it is, but you get this incredible separation from your subjects, and we have a lovely big lens hood. So it's a bit cloudy. If it did suddenly start chucking it down, because it's all weather sealed, you can still keep shooting and your front element stays dry. Just, yeah, big fan of this setup, especially with this kind of look that you're shooting. I like this screen. It's not fully articulated. We have a flip out and we have a portrait flip out as well, which I really like because I think for the type of shooting you do with this camera, it's just perfect. It's great for shooting from the hip. Again, it just helps it be a little bit less intrusive. So when you're in a busy environment, maybe there's people walking around, you know, you're trying to get a picture of something specific and you don't want people to think you're up in their face all the time. You can just, you know, do this, get your nice landscape picture that you're trying to get without, you know, feeling like you're drawing attention to yourself all the time. And having that for portrait as well, brilliant. Ready for this? First try. See? Time for the next leg of the road trip. We're midway through, we're on our way to Woodstock. We're currently like right in the south of Vermont state, and the scenery is just beautiful. The colors are amazing. We're missing a bit of the sun here, so it's not quite hitting where I'd like it to hit, but you can't control that. So I'm just making the most of the stunning light, and we've got incredible raws in this that I can do a lot with. So we'll be able to pull up some of these shadows, pull out some of the colors, and take down some of these highlights just that we're getting on the edge of the clouds. And it should look as good as it does with my eyes. I'm finding the viewfinder on this super delicious. We've just come up this mountain. It's so beautifully peaceful up here, which is why I'm talking at way less decibels than I normally do. When you have like 100 megapixels, you have that much detail in an image, being able to properly check what you're shooting whilst you're shooting it is so important, and having that 5.76 million dot viewfinder is just making life so much easier. I'm like photographing these beautiful trees, the colours, the leaves, and I can just check every part of it, make sure the focus is dead on, make sure I'm not getting any jitters on some of the leaves, you know, when there's a little bit of a breeze kicking up. It really makes a difference when you're shooting. Sometimes when you go somewhere that's or I find when I go somewhere that's overwhelmingly beautiful, or there's lots of things to shoot, or it's so stunning, you can end up shooting loads and not thinking very much, and then you get back and you're like looking through your edits and you think, if I just like moved perspective slightly, that would have been better. Or if I just thought about what was in the background over here, this little thing that now looking at the edit is super distracting, but at the time you just didn't notice it. And I feel like this almost forces you, because of the level of detail that's involved, it forces you to think and slow down. And especially in an environment like this where it's so serene and peaceful, it's a really wonderful experience. It's definitely it's one of those times that it makes you feel in love with photography again. Oh my god, oh my god, that is a chipmunk. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, you absolute delightful little beast. I'm so happy. I've never seen a chipmunk in the real world. Worthwhile, the whole trip's worthwhile now. What a little cutie. Bye. Bye. Cheer him. I don't even think this is like a super nice image. It's just the separation it gives you. It's just so amazing. It's just so beautiful, the way it pulls apart the images and the environment. I love it. Part of slowing down with this camera is in the taking the photos, the composition, the shooting experience as a whole. But part of it is also thinking about your images, because each one is massive. The files are huge. There is a massive amount of data being recorded, and you need to think about and consider your memory afterwards, your hard drives that you have available to you, how quick your computer is, what it can deal with, bringing into, say, let's say you use Lightroom, bringing into there and editing. These are huge files that you have to consider. And that means you need to shoot with an amount of impulse control, which I don't have. We went to Walmart earlier and they have a Halloween section. Well, this is a bit bloody pretty, isn't it? I think sometimes for some photographers, it can feel slightly daunting traveling around with a medium format camera because they just like feel expensive, and a lot of the time they are very expensive. But that isn't always the case. So GFX has been going a few years from Fujifilm now, and this is a newer body, of course, but one of the originals that came out was like the 50S, the GFX 50S. That was in the back end of 2017, and that I've just had a look on our website, and just for example, when this video was shot, it was sitting at around £1,600 used on the MPB site, which actually, if you compare it to like a lot of full frame models, even APS-C sensor models out there at the moment, that is comparably, you are getting a lot for your money there. So what I'm saying really is that historically maybe medium format felt as if it was purely for like commercial fashion type work, but I don't think that's the case anymore. I think this series in particular has made it be, it's just so much more accessible, and actually it makes you realise that the whole of medium format is a lot more accessible now. It is hard to pick a favourite place we've been in the Northeast. It has been so kind to us. The weather's been beautiful, the colours have been amazing, but this is high on the list. Now the GFX, it has been a lovely companion for this trip. I've really enjoyed it. I think there are things to consider. So the body is not that huge. It's not small, of course it's not small, but it's not massive. It's the lenses that obviously make this big. If you want to tone that down, you can put on the 50mm 3.5, something like that, and have actually a relatively compact system for what the system is delivering to you. Is this worth an upgrade? Yes, but depending on what body you're from. So if you're shooting with the original GFX100S, there are upgrades in this. Obviously the EVF, the AF, the IBIS, all upgraded. But is it enough of an upgrade? Only you'll know that based on how you shoot with that camera and whether those things have become frustrating to you. I think this is a better upgrade if you're using maybe an original like GFX 50 or 50S. Maybe if you're using a full frame or an APS-C and you want to move into medium format, that's where I think this is a really great camera. I've really enjoyed using it, and the quality is fantastic. There are certain design things I really enjoy. Love having the top screen. I know a lot of them have that, but I've enjoyed using it. I think it's really good in some ways that you get the you can see your battery life and you can see how many shots you have left, like when it's sitting on the counter rather than having to turn the camera on. And you can set that to dials or a histogram if you want. I've really enjoyed the screen. The viewfinder has been beautiful, and I've definitely made the most of that IBIS, but having, you know, hand shooting this all the time, because I tried to shoot it like I would a normal like travel camera or a camera I'm traveling with. You know, and I would handheld shoot a lot of it unless I really had to get out a tripod, because that's how I like to shoot personally. And it's been brilliant. I haven't needed to get out a tripod, you know, for the style of shooting that I do. So generally, yeah, really enjoyed this. I hope you've enjoyed seeing this trip that we've taken, me and Christy have taken. You can see some more content that features Christy a lot more than she's in this video. So make sure to keep an eye on the channel for that. A big thank you for watching. I'd love to know your thoughts about this, so please put them in the comments. And I hope you join us again soon for some more videos from MPB. Now I need to get back off this without getting really soaking wet. I'm just gonna stay here for a bit. Just stay here for a bit.